Good morning. I'm in Dulverton, in the heart of Exmoor, and I'm looking at the River Barle. And this is quite a short walk. I did it last year. But first we have to walk into Dulverton itself. They're so cute. Look at that. Oh, that is cute. A little house made out of a can. I've got a friend who would love this. A little owl. I think there's a barn owl where I'm staying because I can hear it at night. I've been lucky to find some free parking in Dulverton because it's pay and display in the village, but that's, if you don't mind walking into the village, that's absolutely fine, as long as you don't obstruct anyone's house or the road in general. Got some sort of weir mill pondy thing happening here. Dulverton has a feeling of it just sort of hugging you because it's kind of snuck cosily in down beneath the hills. It's just got this cosy feeling. And it is quite mild today. Still a bit damp like yesterday, but it's not as damp. And it's going to be fine, and looks like this week in general is going to be brilliant. I am so fortunate. So this is walk number 2. It's Sunday the 10th, Remembrance Sunday, 10th of November. Well, the 11th is the Remembrance Day itself, tomorrow. There's a couple of young men I always remember on Remembrance Day. Who I might talk about maybe later today or tomorrow, I don't know yet. Look, I'm watching this little stream, and all the beech leaves, with a few oak leaves, are just flowing down. You know what, that is so pretty. We're heading for Dulverton Church. That's where the walk begins. It's quite a well-known walk. It's in the is it Pathfinder, Wayfinder, or Route something Finder book, which I'll put a link to on the screen, and you can find the map at the beginning of this video. We're coming up to the church on the left. it's brightening up. Let's go through the churchyard. So I want to go in case there's a service and they're all praying. I think this is the way we go, as I remember. Yeah, I can hear the organ playing. Is that the hymn about the sea, those in trouble on the sea? Oh, that brought back memories. Not that particular hymn, just Sunday morning, organ, singing, church, as a child. Got sycamore leaves here as well as the beech and the oak. So we're climbing quite a bit, and then it's quite easy going And like yesterday, I won't be rushing. Just want to enjoy it. What's this? A memory. Mum and Dad miss you. Oh. Look at that. And up the tree. As I said at the beginning of yesterday's video, there are going to be things that I talk about on these walks that aren't necessarily about the walk, and they're about things that are going on in my life. If you don't want to listen to that, just turn the sound off. But I'm doing this, it's almost like a vlog, a journal. So when I was here last year, I actually did do some journaling, but I do find it very hard to write. And it's not at the moment, it's something that's been going on for a number of years as part of the complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which includes a full-blown anxiety disorder. Ooh. Oh, it flew away. So, I mean, that's why I'm here, to try and get my head together, so I'm not going to ignore it, and maybe what I say might be relevant to you, or it might not. But, I mean, I'm not talking all the time, but if you would rather not listen to me and just enjoy the beautiful woodland, then just turn the sound off. I find this feeling of healing just I'm not quite at the hugging trees stage, but just enjoying the nature. At this incredible time of year, in a place where I think it's one of the most beautiful woodland areas of the country. Oh, gave me a jump. Okay. Okay. It's funny, I am a cyclist, but I don't like it when you get mountain bikers in places like this. I feel a bit hypocritical being a cyclist. Well, I think I'd rather that than loads of walkers here, in a way, because then I couldn't really film properly. So how do I feel on this beautiful Sunday in this beautiful part of the world? I've been trying to work it out, actually. As I drove across the moor, drove across Exmoor to get here. It was all foggy up there. I'm not that familiar with Exmoor itself, not like Dartmoor. How do I feel? I feel pretty awful, and I was trying to work it out. And I think it's because, well, obviously any extra stress on top of PTSD is not a good thing. And I decided it's got to be morning, as in MOURNING, as the ad on the radio says, or the telly. You're watching when a parent has dementia. Oh God. What's worse than mountain bikers in a place like this, and it's motorcyclists. Well, you could say I did choose a popular route. That's awful, you can smell the pollution. Oh, I've become a grumpy old woman in my old age. Yeah, I was saying it's like morning, as the ad says. The parent dies 1,000 deaths over and over again, dying slowly, and it's in contrast to a terminal illness where the brain is still working properly. I mean, that's bad enough, I know, because this time last year a friend of mine was watching her partner slowly slip away. Horrible, horrible. But there are parallels to when my son had anorexia in the way that the brain presents you with a completely changed personality. Someone you don't recognise. At least, eventually, I was able to help to claw back my son's real personality. Read my book if you're interested in finding out more. It's on Amazon. Google my name, Bev Mattox, Mattocks. I think it's called Please Eat. I mean, that was a million times worse, because the irony is there, you are desperately trying to save your child's life, desperately, because eating disorders are so deadly. And I remember clunking down into this realm where you're desperately trying to hang on to them to stop them from killing themselves or dying in some other way, eating disorder related. And yet with The dementia, you want them to die. You want them to die properly and peacefully. And I think that goes for any terminal illness like that. Though obviously everyone's different, but me personally, I just want my mum to die peacefully. Because it's so awful for her, awful for us. And I always have to add expensive, because that's a fact, it is eye-wateringly expensive. At least the eating disorder treatment was free on the NHS. And even if we'd had private treatment, that would have been a hell of a lot cheaper than what we're paying for my mum. I mean, if mum was happy, even if she didn't know who we were, if she was happy, that would make it so much easier, but she's not. She's desperately unhappy. It's also really hurtful because my sister and me have gone out of our way to get mum the best possible care home, the best staff, the kindest environment. Everything was perfect about it, is perfect about it. And yet mum screams at us that we never involved her in all this, and she's been kicked out of her home, and it's as if she's saying she's imprisoned against her will. When of course we did involve mum from the earliest stage, driving her down to see the care home as it was being built and carefully explaining about her moving there, which she was really pleased about back then. But she doesn't remember any of that. It's so hurtful, you feel like you're being slapped in the face, and I know the purists would say, oh, but that's just the dementia, that's the illness speaking. Yeah, I know, but don't stop it being hurtful though. Makes us feel as though we've been really bad daughters, when we have been quite the opposite. But yeah, coming back to what I said, it is like you're mourning them every day. The strange, irrational person they've become compared to who they were. This is where we turn off. We turn off. I think. Oh, it's quite warm. The second part of this walk is through woodland alongside the River Barle, which is really pretty. And we'll be heading down to Marsh Bridge, which is very pretty at this time of year. Hello, sheep. Let me know in the comments below if you have or have had a parent who suffers or suffered from dementia, and maybe how you coped with it. Hello sheep, you look totally different from the others, and you've got a twig stuck in your wool. Look at the sheep, they run away. The drive here from Exford is incredibly beautiful, especially when you come down off the moorland and heading downhill through a steeply wooded valley. And on either side are beautiful beech trees of the tall black, almost black trunk variety with golden leaves. Beautiful. Get more of a view today because the cloud is higher. Look at this. Is that some sort of spider thing? Beautiful. Amazing. Look, these crunchy leaves. Yeah, this is what you need to do. Crunchy leaves. Hollow lane, the pheasants running along, which you tend to think are here for one purpose only. sycamores. Sun is trying to come out. Tomorrow it's going to be nice and sunny, hopefully. And I'm going to do another walk in the area where I went yesterday, starting at Luxborough. Slightly different route, but it takes in a wood that I walked through last year, which was amazing. Well, next week I'm getting my bike fixed, which is good. I had to order a new shifter. Something in the mechanism is completely broken, which is why on my last cycle ride I was having problems shifting up to the big chainring, and then it stopped altogether. So I had to order a new part, and my bike guy will fit it, and a new cable. Sometimes You spend so much on your bike, you wonder why you didn't just upgrade to a newer bike. Yeah, it's like insurance though, you never know what's going to happen, do you? And I do like my bike. I might get the bike guy to put on the winter tyres too, because I'm lazy. And he'll have a wheel off anyway for doing all the cabling. So why not? So this is Court Down. There is an extension to this walk, which I may do. When I get to Marsh Bridge, you can walk along the river in the opposite direction. You can walk for as long as you like, because it's there and back. So I might do that. Maybe walk for half an hour or so and then turn round. I'll see. Marsh Bridge is where we're going. I was going to park at Marsh Bridge, but the turning down to it is so acute so that you can only do it if you're coming in the opposite direction. So I went on to Dulverton. I love the way the sheep just stare at me. More of the black beech branches, limbs, whatever. Seem to change quite a lot. These look like maybe they're dead. Funny, isn't it? These aren't, and those look a bit knackered. I'm walking slowly so I can look at everything, and because I want to, why not? Please be kind in the comments if you comment. Thankfully, 99.9% of all the comments I've had on all my videos have been really good, and I read them all. It's the odd one that isn't, and you think, why did they bother? You know, if they don't like it, don't watch it. Because I guess in a way these are niche videos, aren't they? And it does say that they're cycling videos, but sometimes you can't cycle because your bike's off the road, like mine is. Some people have more than one bike. I don't, because I've got nowhere to store it. And more than one bike means more expense, maintenance, cleaning, parts, etc. I don't need more than one bike. Any of you wondering where my recorder videos are and why I haven't done any for ages? It's because I said, like, the writing. I never explained why I couldn't do the writing, did I? It's all down to the full-blown anxiety disorder part of this PTSD thing. Because your brain is stuck in, like, red alert. It's constantly on guard, thinking the lion's going to jump into the cage and, the cave and eat me. So I've got to be on guard the whole time. I can't do anything where I'm not on guard, not aware. And I panic. And it's one reason I can't write. And my whole career has been writing, albeit a copywriter in advertising, but also blogging. And I was going to I enrolled on a master's in creative writing, but I had to cancel that because I just couldn't concentrate. I can't read. I can't concentrate to read. I can't write. And I can't at the moment play my recorder. I just panic at the thought, and it's weird, and it's something I'm hoping to get fixed, and that's why I've started some more therapy. Let me check where we are to try and fix it, because it is a thing. It's not me being weak or making it up. It is a thing where your brain does get stuck. Look at that. Gets stuck in red alert. It's forever anticipating the lion jumping into the cave, cave, and it's going to eat me type thing. It's the analogy they always make. A beautiful tree. Oak tree. And it's pretty much been that way in varying degrees since my son was ill, because I was on red alert 24/7, 365 for at least 2 years non-stop every day. And that completely messes up your mind, the way the brain works. Google it. It's called the reptilian brain, that part. It doesn't understand sense, logic, anything like that, or talking, like in talking therapy. You could have talking therapy till you blew in the face and it wouldn't make any difference. I'm hoping that some EMDR, eye movement, and D something or other therapy is going to help. So I start that next week. I just want to get out of this stuckness. I can sew though. I've been doing an awful lot of sewing. I've made so many clothes. I could never ever wear them all. And obviously I can walk. I can cycle, and I can cook and bake, but I can't do the other things, and that is weird. It's puzzling about the recorder though, it is puzzling. I don't think that's wholly to do with the brain being stuck on red alerts. I think I won't sort of some people. It's also the feeling that I know I'm never going to be any good at it. The recorder. And what's the point? Oh, I can make videos, but I think it's because I've been watching too many videos by professional recorder players. Just made me realise I'm just never going to be any good. But then does that matter? No. I will begin my recorder lessons again, and my recorder tutor, she's very good, and I'll tell her exactly what the problem is. See if we can work around it, work through it, and if I can get making videos again. And I can't read, but I can listen to audiobooks, which is wonderful. This is beautiful down here. I took a picture last year and it's now my screensaver. This takes us down to Marsh Bridge. Look at these oak leaves. And I know when I edit these videos that I'm making now that I will wonder whether I'm oversharing, as they say, and I should just replace the soundtrack with just some generic walking through the wood sounds, which I do sometimes. I remove the clip, the bit with me rambling, and cut copy and paste a clip from earlier on where I'm just walking along. And no one knows any difference. Or I just make the video private. Beautiful oak leaves and some rocks. This has got to be an ancient path or lane, and we've got the moss that feels like fur and little bits of ivy, oak leaves. Bits of bracken. That is beautiful, isn't it? Can you see? Those lime green leaves and the black twigs. How beautiful is this? Some holly, beech, oak. And these incredible walls with all sorts growing on them. I wonder who built these stone walls and how long ago. Oak leaves, beech leaves. Beautiful. And all sorts of viney things growing out too. Probably looking for a tree to wrap themselves around. I think this might be the most beautiful track rather, that there is at this time of year. Look at that, all slanting, and then the ridge stones. And over the years they've just become part of nature. Every time I touch this, it reminds me of that M.R. James story, or the television adaptation of it, The Stalls of Barchester Cathedral. Where he's sitting in the church, and it's all dark, lit by candlelight, and he's the vicar, and he's got his hand on the wood. He's looking at the curious carvings on the wood of his seat, and then suddenly it turns to like fur, and he goes, ah. It's a classic M.R. James ghost story, and it's a really good adaptation. Even if it does have the woman from Coronation Street in it, playing his sister, which she's a bit typecast, is that actress, unfortunately. I once saw her in our local Sainsbury's. I think she must live near me. My husband does a good impression of her. So we've gone from the stalls of Barchester Cathedral ghost story to Coronation Street and our local Sainsbury's. Look at all this. Oh, so beautiful. I could just spend this week just walking in places like this. Non-stop. Because woodland is what I'm here for. Therapeutic benefits of woodland at this time of year. I just love that wall, it's amazing. Whoops. This ancient track. It leads us down to the river. Or rivers, there's two. I think they meet at Marsh Bridge. There's someone coming behind me with a dog. Those trees, and there, the roots. I bet there's creatures living there. Oh, I bet something lives in there. It's got to be a badger or something, surely. There, under that rock. Unless it's just a drainage thing. It might be a drainage thing, because there's quite a few of these channels. I think it's probably drainage. Well, something might live in there. So there's another, what must be drainage channel. One thing I've just realised that there's loads of oak leaves, but there's no acorns. Not one acorn. That's strange. Horse chestnut, conkers, but no acorns. We're getting nearer the roads. Another of those, what must be drainage. I love the way all the signposts around here are those old ones. The kind that you see stacked up in films or photos of the war when they got rid of them all in case we were invaded. This is that acute angle I was on about. That's where I meant to park, where those cars are down there. Never mind. So a reasonable amount of parking here if you do want to do this walk. So we've got this stream comes down here, meets the River Barle. And this is where we have the option of walking up there for a bit, along the river. And the return walk to Dulverton is along the river, up there on the left. A sweet little iron bridge. Look at it. What a lovely little bridge. I love this bridge. Little red things. A lot of red things. Cream teas. Oh. Let's just walk for half an hour along here and then come back and then head along the river back to Dulverton. There is an old fort along here, some sort of Iron Age fort, but I don't think we walk that far. Seems to be climbing up a bit, up above the river. Crunchy leaves. That rock, it's as if it's fallen over at some point many millions of years ago. This river will of course flow into the River Ex. And it will go all the way to Exeter, and then it will head out along to the estuary where I was cycling last month. You'll check out my cycling video of Dawlish, where I cycled along the estuary. Tide was out there, so I guess there was the actual river was somewhere in the middle, a little streamy type thing. It's funny how there seems to be a never-ending supply of water just coming down every day, every week, every month, every year. There isn't really a way you can do this little bit as a round walk without just going along the road up there, so I'll just go there and back to where we were at the cream tea bed and breakfast cafe thing, and then head to Dulverton along the river. What? Tree. Complete arch. That's it. looking down at the river. Right, we go right here, and shortly along a footpath on the left. A sweet little postbox. It's a Victorian one. VR. Victoria Regina. Queen Victoria. Just think how long it's been there. It's funny, isn't it? Looking back. So I've had a song on the brain by a South American singer called Larissa Gosler, who is amazing. She's not mainstream, she's quite sort of niche. You can find her best album on Spotify. It's called Songs of Ceremony. And she's an artist that I learnt about. I first heard about at the retreat I went to a year ago, this time last year. And I was humming all her songs to myself when I was walking around here in the week afterwards. One of the songs is called I Can Hear My Ancestors Calling. It's all about connecting with the earth and stuff, which makes me think of my lineage. And that postbox reminds me, because it's Victorian, how my grandparents were Victorians. I wish I'd talked more with them about their history, but I think when you're young, you're not interested, are you? And then they die and you wish you had. So my mother's mother, Alice, was born in 1890. So she was 11 when Queen Victoria died. My dad's mother was, I think, 5 years older than that. This is where we turn off. It's only 1.5 miles. Such an easy walk, this. Do we go through here? Yes, we do. Sometimes my mum thinks her parents are still alive. Sometimes she doesn't. Depends. Because her parents didn't have dementia, even though my grandma, her mother, lived to be nearly 100. She didn't have dementia. And my granddad, well, he died in 1976. He had prostate cancer. There's a little cobweb that hanging down from the tree. My other granny had dementia towards the end, my dad's mum, and I know my parents found it really, really stressful. And she was in a home. And she became quite cantankerous towards the end. little stream. Oh, great for cleaning your boots. Another little stream. Heading off down there to the river. You see all the leaves fluttering down. Catch them. Try and catch them. Just watching the leaves fall. It's like rain. I don't know if you can see them with the camera. Just gently fluttering down. I guess many of these leaves will be from last year and maybe the year before, and I guess they form a sort of a mulch that I guess nurtures the trees, and the cycle happens all over again. Which makes you think of climate change, doesn't it? And especially this week, when the orange one has been elected President of the United States. America, what have you done? Goodness knows what damage he will inflict. But we can do nothing about it. These little oak, no, they're not oak, beech. See the way it's almost black. It's interesting. And someone's put a pile of stones on top. Interesting. Look. Let's get a picture. We're coming up to the river again. Look at this. They've cut it off to stop it destroying the tree. As it grows up. Here we are back at the river. As I recall, the river last year was flowing much more ferociously because we'd had all those storms in October and in the summer. It's quite gentle today. I'll try to get back here next year as well. Every year until I can't, or can't afford it. Makes me really anxious. That what will happen if we can't sell my mum's flat and we use up all her savings paying for care? Will they come after us and say, we need your money? It just makes me feel really insecure. Because the speed that the care home fees eat up money is amazing. We're paying just over £1,600 a week. And she's been in care homes now for 6 months, so you can work out how much it's cost us so far. And if Mum carries on living for a long time yet, even if she's just a vegetable, we still have to pay. That just makes me really anxious, thinking, what happens when we run out? I know the council take over, but if you're in the same situation as us, you'll totally understand. So waving goodbye to our inheritance. And interest rates are going down now, so she won't get as much interest on her savings. And as I said, she doesn't want to be here, she wants to be dead. Oh God. But there's nothing I can do. There's that prayer by Ignatius Loyola about recognising the things you can change and accepting that you can't change other things. I paraphrase. You know the one I mean. And worrying doesn't make the blindest bit of difference, as we know. Ooh, this is a bit steep. Some of my friends are in exactly the same situation with their elderly parents. And some of them are paying much more for care home fees. And of course the fees go up every year. What on earth will happen when we are old? Oh, this river is lovely, isn't it? The river. There's another song on that Larissa Gosler Songs of Ceremony album, which is called The River is Flowing. That sweet little gazebo over there and a little iron seat. All these colours. I hope I can bring out the colours in the video, because sometimes the video is kind of duller, the colours. I'll have to have a look at the colour correction. If you saw my Dartmoor videos, the cycling ones, well, you'll know about the three hares motif. The one where it's got three hares chasing each other and they all seem to have two ears each, but actually the way it's done, look, they're actually sharing ears, and it's a motif that appears in many places over Dartmoor and North Devon, in churches, in church roof bosses. We went to Widdicombe, didn't we, and had a look, and the one at Chagford too, when I was walking there. I'm saying this because I remember when I did this walk last year, where you come out at Dulverton, there's a little cottage called Rose Cottage, and it's got the three hares motif there. They've got it on the cottage. So we'll take a look at that when we get there. Oops. It's a shame the shops aren't open today because it's Sunday, and there's some nice little shops in Dulverton. There was a really nice shop last year that I found that sold amazing greetings cards, which I've not been able to find anywhere else, and they're not online. Pictures were amazing. I bought quite a few. I wish I could go back and buy some more. Really atmospheric. And the charity shops, of course. I love charity shops. Buying bits and pieces for sewing, or buying something I can transform into something else. Got the beginnings of Dulverton on the other side of the river, where my car is parked, somewhere along there. So steep, the sides of this valley. It's got that feeling, like I said earlier, about being hugged, protected, kept safe. Oh, look at that. That's so beautiful. We've got the roots coming out, the wall below, and all the beautiful leaves. It's more of that parasitic sort of vine thing. They usually saw it off, stop it from killing the tree. What I'll try and do when I edit these videos, but of course you won't know this if you've turned the sound off because you don't want to listen to me, you won't know what I'm saying. But what I'm thinking, I'll maybe put some more subtitles on, just picking out the things that I'm pointing at, maybe. I don't know. It takes a lot of time though. Look at these beautiful trees. It's amazing. Is it 2 trees? Is it 1 tree? Where does it all start? Is it more than that? It's amazing how it grows. We've got that branch coming up there and then going up there and then over there. That's really amazing. Look. So it goes there, then it goes up there, then it goes over there, and then it rests on top of that branch. And this one, Here's a fact, fun fact. Dulverton used to have its own railway station, though the railway only came about, I think it's a couple of miles south. The station was in another village, can't remember its name, because I think it would be impossible to have a railway here, really. But anyway, yeah, the Exe Valley Railway ran to Dulverton station, and then it kind of turned off, headed towards Barnstaple. One of the walks that I may or may not be doing this week, a very small section of it, is along the old railway line. Doubtless one of Dr. Beeching's many cuts. Something I've been thinking about a lot recently is the contrast between really nasty, evil, vile people who don't care about anything, just horrible people, and really kind, caring, generous, nice, loving people. Of course, it's not all black and white. There's a whole spectrum in between. But it's just something that I've been thinking about. And I'm really glad that I'm not part of the former category. The greedy, this week classic example is Trump, isn't it? And Elon Musk, the ultimate, the arch villain of them all. Hello. Going back to what I was just saying, what's that biblical saying? What was it? What if a man should gain the whole world but lose his soul? I think that describes Elon Musk, doesn't it? Anyway, look at that tree. How straight and tall is that trunk? And it's got the parasitic vine growth up it. But it's amazing. But it's quite interesting looking at the way the good versus evil sort of thing. I suppose one good thing to come out of it is it really makes you appreciate genuinely kind, caring, compassionate, loving, generous people, selfless. Get out your Roger's thesaurus, and there's a million words describing it. And to seek them out. Look at this, it looks to me, I can't imagine the river came this high, but looks some sort of storm damage going on here. Maybe the river did come this high. Gosh. Coming to the end of this path. Oh, there's another of those weird trees. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trees in one, or even 8 if there's one round the corner. Wow. And then a coppiced one. Maybe that's how they start, as coppiced. I have to ask my husband, he'd know. He knows things like that. Little cottage. You couldn't really have a car, could you? Well, I imagine you could probably drive up here, maybe. Maybe. We'll be coming up to that cottage with the 3 hares symbol soon. There it is. Rose Cottage. Actually, it's not 3 hares. It was 1 hare lying on his back. Why did I think it was 3 hares? Oh, never mind. Rose Cottage. A pretty little ironwork. A pretty little cottage. Look. It's got to be a quintessential English country cottage. Could park here, couldn't you? Like they have. Wow, see that house right up there? I bet that's not easy to get to. Gosh. River's quite calm here. It's a pretty little shop. Beautifully done out with autumn colours and that amazing light. photo. Oh crikey, ISIS. Not the same. Art. I think this is that shop that had those amazing cards, yes. Can you see them there? And some of them are by that artist. Oh, a charity shop. I love charity shops. Kind of antique-y type shop. Fish and chips. Local produce. Remembrance. Sunday stuff. This beautiful place. Not a very beautiful church though. Or chapel. I think it must be a house now. Tiverton Bible Christian Circuit. Bible Christian Chapel. Ooh. And a whole load of people who laid the foundation stone. It must have been a really big thing when they did, even though it's not a very beautiful building. It was obviously very important to them. Sun's coming out, it's very pleasant. So, thank you for watching, and I'll close now.